Well, hello and welcome to the MoJo Monday, a place for authentic, real human stories we bring to the table for you. And the stories are centered around next level nutrition. It's particularly around a community, a company, a force to be reckoned with, a global mission, all encompassed within this company we love called in community called Zalevo. Zalevo, it's Latin, it stands for the zenith and elevate, and helping bring ourselves and others to our highest potential of health and wellness and service to others. So we want to welcome everybody. I'm Robert here at my home in Granbury, Texas, just down the road from Dallas-Fort Worth, and my co-host,
Mr. Jim Rhodes in St. George, Utah, where a lot of these people have visited. If they didn't live here, we're inviting them back. And we've got a great call lined up tonight. I'm excited.
We have an amazing call lined up. Thank you, Jim. And a little promo. We've been doing these calls now, Jim, for what, a couple months almost?
Yes, at least.
And we have a growing library. You're from kids' health, gut health, brain health, joint health. It's expanding, and you can share these stories and with people that you care about and love as well. And just go to YouTube, type in Team Z for Zalevo, Team Z Global Impact. And there's no other channel named that, not even Team. Once you get to Team Z Global, it's a unique channel there, and you'll see the archive and library to share with your people you love and care about. All right, so with your permission, guys, I'm going to pull up a little couple slides. We're going to do a little disclaimer and tee up the call here. So Jim, do you want to kind of start why? Just sharing with the group why we do a disclaimer and,
Sure.
and what we do and not do here.
You bet. Well, we're not doctors, so we don't practice medicine because that could get us in trouble. So the things we're going to talk about don't cure or heal anything, because we can't claim anything like that. What we do is feed the body everything and let it do its job the best it can. And tonight's subject is on stress. Also, if we're talking about income levels and things for sharing, not everybody's income is going to be the same. It depends on what you're able to do. And here it is in writing. These products are not meant to heal, cure, or we're not diagnosing any illness. We are sharing this to bless people's lives with knowledge so they can make wise choices of what they choose to put in these miracles called our body. Because we do know if the body gets what it needs in the form it can use with a delivery system to take it in, it can achieve miracles. And that is the miracle of the body. And so what you're going to hear tonight are just stories around a subject of people using some of these great master formulations that have helped in some way or shape in their own lives that they've either observed or had happen. And so with that, turn it back over to Robert.
Thank you, Jim. And one more little preamble too. Here's what's coming over the next 3 weeks. We're covering stories around healthy weight loss and sustainable weight loss, increasing endurance and stamina, and then masking. Well, actually, that's a typo. It's making fasting easy and easy peasy and simple. So let me cruise out of here, and we'll get into our stories. So we got some great calls lined up. All right, so now to the subject at hand, as Jim said so eloquently. So Jim, we have some beautiful people to share tonight, and let's get right to the point. First of all, let's go over a little south of you, Jim, and a little west of you in Arizona. I know Kimberly's been a guest on about at least 2 of our MoJo Mondays, because my goodness, she has so much to share. And when it came to the topic of stress, Kimberly raised both hands and said, hey, I want to share my story and why this has been such a godsend. So first of all, we're going to go to Kimberly Penny over in the Phoenix, Arizona area. And let me pull up her block here. And so we can hear from Miss Kimberly Penny. Welcome, Penny. Kimberly.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah, Zalevo's been just a blessing. I sleep better with the Fortitude 85. I take 2 in the morning and 2 at night, but I notice I it just takes, you can actually feel it in the body, it takes everything down, and I sleep like a rock. And I take 2 in the morning, and what I find is, I had to sell my company because of stress, and it almost killed me. And stress is a killer, and we don't realize what it does to our bodies. And I just know that no matter what my day looks like, I have something that supports my body and takes all that stress away.
Wow.
So
And for the first time, the person hearing this for the first time, when you say that word, it's not a word we use a lot. It's called fortitude. We add a number to it. Can you just in a 30-second summary, what is your layman's definition of what the fortitude is? What are we talking about there?
well, it protects your body from stress. It's like it relaxes your body. You're putting adaptogens and herbs and everything to support your body. It relaxes the body to give your adrenals a rest. And a lot of us have either adrenal fatigue, or our adrenals are exhausted. And sometimes, because it's such a soft little organ, just having that nutrition so it can rest and heal, it makes all the difference in the world in terms of your energy, your sleep. I sleep when I go to bed, I take the Fortitude 85, and then literally, I kid you not, 10 minutes later, I'm out like a light, and I don't wake up until the morning. And I used to be the one popping up every hour, and I couldn't stay asleep. So I'm getting more REM time, which is giving me more energy through the day, and I can do more.
Wow. And I guess the last thing is you're going from hiking hardly around the block to now several miles at a time in the desert mountains there in the hills. So
Oh yeah, it's incredible how much energy you have just knowing that you can sleep. And sleep makes all the difference. I had no idea I wasn't getting enough sleep, and I wasn't sleeping deep enough. And the Fortitude 85 has just improved my sleep tremendously. So when I wake up, I'm like, ping, and I'm wide awake. And I don't even need, I mean, I love my tea, but I don't need the tea anymore. I just have the tea because I enjoy it. Whereas before it would be like, oh, where's my tea? And I couldn't function before.
yeah, well, what a blessing it's been. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing your story, Miss Kim. Appreciate you so much.
Can I jump in there for 2 seconds and just
Sure.
say, many people do not realize what stress does to the body and why it's so related to sleep. Because when you lack sleep, your body is in higher stress, which creates a bigger wheel for you to have less sleep. And until you can reduce the stress so you can relax and get into that REM sleep you're talking about, the body can't de-stress itself. It's constantly working in the brain, and your brain never turns off, by the way. And as it relaxes down, though, and lets the body repair itself and get the rest needed, then the next day you're ready for it, versus you wake up worse than when you went to bed. Some people just want to cover their head and say, I didn't sleep.
Well, and Kimberly Jim was a wonderful example. I actually a challenging at the time example of somebody on that treadmill, and now here she's found solutions. So Jim, I know you have a special guest that you're bringing on tonight as well. Most of us are meeting her for the very first time. I'd love for you to go ahead.
Do. Nikki Cummings. And for those who have been on the Zalevo Trail, Nikki is the daughter of David and Jerry Hinton. And she's pursued the medical field and became a nurse practitioner. What's really neat about her also, I've known her since she was about 7. So that makes her 17 now, right? Now she's a little older than that, but I have known her since she was just a little kid, and now she's all grown up, taking care of other people as well as her family, and observing things and her practice. I'll let her share her own story, and I'll just turn the time over to you, Nikki, to tell us what took you into the medical field. And what have you seen? I know you were raised by parents who were very nutritionally oriented because they grew their own fruits, they grew their own vegetables, I've known your dad since, this huge garden and his trees and everything he takes care of. So I'll let you share your story and what you've seen concerning stress, and maybe anything you could share about what you've seen using this. By the way, Fortitude 85, the 85 stands for the actual 85 singular ingredients, active ingredients in the formula that works on all of what we're talking about here: stress, mood, vitality, and balance. So with that, Nikki, it's yours. Can you unmute there? There you go.
There we go.
We probably missed the best part.
Probably too late now. Sorry. No. Okay. So part of the reason that I decided to go into the medical field, growing up, my dad had some pretty bad experiences with the medical field. And I think I'm the kind of person who likes to figure things out. I always said I'd like to be like a detective or something, but I feel like I do that in the medical field all the time, trying to figure out solutions for people. Anyhow, I just kind of wanted to be able to incorporate my knowledge of more natural medicine with, the medical field, to see what options there were. And the school that I went to for my master's degree, Vanderbilt, did focus both on alternative forms of medicine and, regular day-to-day medicine. So anyhow, that's kind of where I got my interest. And yeah, I feel like it's been a really good experience for me so far. Some of the things that I've seen with the Fortitude 85, my husband takes it regularly. He's struggled most of our marriage, I would say, with depression, with chronic fatigue issues. And I feel like it's made a huge difference for him. Weight as well, with stress and depression. It's helped make it easier for him to be up and going and stay focused and be able to lose weight along the way. He also uses the trim, which we're not necessarily talking about today, but he's got a couple of those products that he uses, and it's made a big difference in his energy levels and being able to get out and do things. So we've been married 24 years, and for about 22 of those years, he rarely left the house other than to go to work, except when he was severely depressed, and then he didn't even make it to work. So
Wow.
the last 2 years, he has the energy to go out and do things. We go to concerts and stuff like that now. We go do fun things together that we didn't used to be able to do. So
This sounds like a similar story. Your mom got a new husband when he found Solevo. That would be your father. And it sounds like you kind of did some of the similar things, getting a husband who enjoyed the outdoors and people and doing things that might have stressed him out before. That is amazing.
Yep.
Well, I know that nutrition you grew up with, because that's part of your heritage, being that you're a daughter of people who grew their own produce, and your mom is a genius at keeping your dad going when there wasn't a way to keep going, by just feeding him such good foods. And then to see his improvement. A trick question here: have you seen a similar improvement in your mom, in her ability to handle stress?
I would say yes. I mean, her stress levels have definitely gone down. Part of that could be because there's no kids left at home, but because with 7 kids, that can be pretty stressful.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely see a difference in both of my parents. In fact, the other day I was looking on Facebook and saw their comparison pictures from their 50th wedding anniversary. compared to just a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't believe it. Just how much they've changed, the weight they've lost, they're more healthy, they get around better.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference for them for sure.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up with them. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate you being here. And I think your mom's on the call. So I'm glad we didn't say anything more than we did. It's all yours, Robert. We love her.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, Nikki. And I spent a week with your mom and dad in Costa Rica with this company and community. And yeah, they're just dear people. They're full of light and they're impacting so many lives. And now you are as well. So thanks for being on and thanks for sharing your story. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. All right. So yeah, so many beautiful stories, and we keep impacting lives as we evolve as a company, more and more lives being impacted here, guys. Such a beautiful thing. So now we're gonna, speaking of great people, I'm gonna go down to a close friend that I have the opportunity to talk with a lot, probably daily, because we do work together as brand partners here with this company. And she's up in about as far north as you can get in Texas, up in the Panhandle. And her name is Carol Henderson. And she has a really fun story with one of her friends recently that when she shared it, I said, Carol, can you come on and just share that little snippet with us to get some insights into how tangible these formulations, when they go into the body and it's released into the bloodstream, some beautiful things begin to happen. So Miss Carol Henderson, are you on the call?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I have a friend. We've talked for a while. She is a pastor. She is a cardiac nurse. She's a grandmother raising her 4 grandsons, and they own a ranch. So, there's all the stuff that goes with that. And so she's busy, large family, and stress level, up to here. And we had met for lunch the other day, and she was talking about weight, and she goes, I need to talk to you because a third friend had said you need to get a hold of Carol. She knows her stuff. And I had talked to this woman in the past about health and stuff, and just the stress would get in the way of all that. And y'all mentioned already that stress can do weight. And so anyway, she ordered the ultimate kit, and it came on Friday. She didn't have time to open it. Saturday, I finally got a hold of her. They had been down to a funeral. It's 10 o'clock at night when she called me back. And I said, okay. And you could hear the stress. I said, open the package. You've got to open the package now. Don't wait till morning. Open it now. You'll be glad you did. And so I said, all you have to do, she said, oh, but they're in, and started kind of thinking, oh, the overwhelm. And I said, there's 3 bottles in there that's pills. That's all we're looking for tonight. That's all you need to think about. And so she went in, and of course, then the boys got a hold of the bubble wrap, which made the stress level go through the roof. And so I said, get the big bottle, take 2 of those right now. While we're talking, take 2. And so she did. And then we talked about the biome. She took 1 of each of those. Then we kind of started talking, and I had given her a biometric scale. And so, we talked about that. But before she even got through unpacking the formulation, she goes, Carol, that stuff's kicking in. I can already feel it. And it was like 15 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And she could feel it already relaxing her. And as we talked and got the scale done and set up what she would do in the morning before she left for church. And I said, if you really want to lower your stress level, give the boys shakes. Drink your shake, but give the boys shakes. Everybody can have that for breakfast. You don't have to cook. So anyway, she just, I've been getting thumbs up. I have not gotten to talk to her, and she isn't on the call because she's at the movies with the boys. And but yes, felt great the next day at church and all their church stuff. And then I'd asked how the day went, and she gave me the praise God hands. And so, yeah, it's real. It's real. And what's so much fun is people can feel it and they don't have to wait 90 days to feel it.
Yeah, it is truly amazing. A fun story, and it's a real story, isn't it, Carol? All of us live busy
It happened
lives.
last Saturday night. It isn't even a week yet.
Yeah, just wait till it's in our system a little bit longer. It's the results are compounding. So beautiful story. And I'm gonna put it back on speaker view. Carol, we thank you so much. And I'm gonna ask, how many of you, one or more of the formulations we have with this community here, when you put it in your body, you actually felt a shift, one or more shifts in the first few minutes of taking it? So yeah, it's pretty amazing what these formulations do. So speaking of impactful stories, I know we've had one of our brand partners who I also had the honor of talking with quite a bit, and she's a beautiful lady up in Minnesota. That's probably a butchered accent, Heidi, but I'll work on it. But she's up in Minnesota where it's still between spring and old man winter lingering on. I think it's mainly spring now, probably. But anyway, Heidi's been on board for some time, Heidi Grazzini, and she has been in blessing lives, including her own and her kiddos and her hubby and her mom. So Heidi had a beautiful story around stress and helping deal with that with this nutrition. So Miss Heidi Grazzini, welcome to the call.
Thank you. And I see my mom finally did pop on here, but I'm not sure if she'll have audio. Speaking of stress, she was a little stressed out trying to get her technical issues ironed out. But yeah, I mean, a little bit about, and how are we on time? Because I would love for my mom to share her story, but for me, yeah, the whole Zalebo system, like Zalebo found me, is how I like to say it. I did not find Zalebo because I was really struggling in many aspects of my health, as well as members of my family, specifically my daughter. And her stress story is something quite remarkable, but she's busy caretaking for my 4-year-old right now. But just personally, my body was in fight or flight 24/7, 365. Just stay-at-home mom, I have a very competitive daughter that dances nationally. So we're traveling all the time. We threw a 4-year-old, 10-year age difference into the mix because we were bored and didn't have anything else to do. I take, being the caretaker of my family and extended family very seriously. I'm just one of those people that, have to do everything for everybody. And I really did take a toll on my body, physically, mentally, emotionally. Stress was attacking me. I was getting the arrows, the daggers thrown at me every single day. Again, physically, mentally, environmentally. I was struggling in my mood, my energy, my sleep was a mess. My hormones were a mess. I started hormone and genetic testing to try and figure out what was going on with me, because every fiber of my being was telling me like something is wrong, like something is very, very wrong. And I was not going to settle to chalking it off to this is just what getting old, must equate to. So with that, I started these formulations and talk about instant. I can't even describe what happened to me in 48 hours or what happened to my daughter, and I'm not going to ugly cry. So we'll save that for another call, our time, Robert, and get her on here. But it was nothing short of remarkable. And it was such a blessing to kind of simultaneously be doing this genetic testing and hormone testing and labs and all of these things, because I had all of these baseline numbers of where things were started. But I talk about our products on a weekly basis on calls because I am so passionate about every single molecular molecule that is in every single one of these formulations. But Fortitude 85, along with the power of the nutrition of the Zalebo system, truly changed my life and is changing the life of my family members. But Fortitude 85, it is my best friend. I call him my BFF. Him and my American Express, I don't leave home without them. They are, Fortitude 85 is in my purse. It's in the console of my car. It is on my desk. I have random bottles everywhere. It truly when you talk about the feel good, it is like an instant. So I'm a 6 pill a day with the Fortitude, morning and night religiously. I usually do that midday just for pickup, and that's usually when, you know, being a human pinball is getting the best of me. And I pop my Fortitude 85, and it's a game changer. Within 15 minutes, I am a different person. I'm momming different. I'm wifing different. I'm running my business different. Just showing up as a different human being altogether. But I could talk all night long. But Mom, are you able to unmute? Maybe. She's this adorable silver-haired lady here. No, are you? Let me see if I can unmute her.
Don't want to embarrass her. She is a cutie. So, and a sweetheart.
Unmute? No, Mom? But my mom, so Fortitude 85 has definitely changed my life. But recently, in the story I wanted my mom to share was, she is a busy Nana. She is a young 74 years young. She is a excellent caretaker of my dad, who's got 10 years on her. So he actually just turned 85. And he's still, you know, kicking and strong and an incredible, you know, active, older fella, but, you know, he does suffer or deals with different, mood and cognitive, you know, memory type, challenges just on a daily basis. It's a part of getting old. I mean, I can't remember where my keys are or where, I know where my kids are most of the time, but, you know, my dad does deal with that kind of on a daily basis, and my mom is, his caretaker. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, like we talked about, Nicole. And my mom, I get those traits of having to be the be all do all, you know, for kind of everybody from her. And Zalevo has been an incredible blessing to both my mom and my father's life, in meeting their nutritional needs as well. But with mom specifically, we had an instant kind of opposite of Carol's story, where mom was like, okay, you know, Zalevo's done this amazing stuff, has launched 7 new formulations. And she's like, I'm gonna try Mind Sync. You know, I'm gonna try Mind Sync, but you know, I'll stop doing the Fortitude 85. And this was unbeknownst to me, folks. Okay, this was completely unbeknownst to me. But she stopped taking her Fortitude 85 for about 2 weeks and was doing the Mind Sync. Absolutely loved the benefits of the Mind Sync, but called me one day, absolutely losing her mind. And I'm like, Mom, just take some Fortitude and call me back in 15 minutes. Cause that's like a regular, take some Fortitude and call me. My 15-year-old, same thing. I'm like, did you take Fortitude? That's the question. If you're popping an attitude, if you're crabby, if you're stressing out, it's like, did you take Fortitude? But she's like, no, I stopped taking it, you know, cause I was going to give this Mind Sync a try. And I'm like, Mom. And it was so funny because she popped a couple, and within, you know, 15, 20 minutes, peace and harmony had returned to her life. And I told her, I was like, this is my deserted island formulation. I mean, I can't really live without any of them, but it was just kind of fun to experience that with trying different things and new approaches and different formulation combinations, because they also beautifully work synergistically together. But I definitely think Mom will not go without her Fortitude 85 anymore. In managing her stress.
And I think her family will be cheering her on for that, or even, making darn sure. So Heidi, beautiful story. Isn't it priceless? Sharing, impacting the world around us, but also our precious loved ones. So
it's been the greatest joy. I mean, once I saw what happened to my daughter and myself, my parents were my next, you know, target. Because honestly, I take great pride and joy in being able to care for them as they age. And, you know, to lessen that and to have them around for many, many more years, and, you know, be around for walking my kids down the aisle, and, you know, all of those important and memorable, you know, life events. You know, I want them present, and I want them thriving in their health as I, you know, want to thrive in my own health. And so I kind of went down the line of the family, and I joke around, but I say this all the time because I started like September, October, family got it immediately. My parents did. And by November, December, I told all of my extended family, You can either choose your formulations and sign up, to like get them in your body, or you're going to get them for Christmas, because
Ah,
it's just undeniable what they do when you bless your bodies with these formulations. It truly is remarkable. And it's almost impossible not to share the love and the power of them when they're blessing your lives the way they do.
wow. Yeah, you're a blessing to many. And thank you for opening up your heart and sharing your story and being so real as you are. Thank you, Heidi.
My pleasure.
Yes, awesome stuff, guys. So let's we're gonna do a 1, 2, 3 in a moment. And thank you or love you to all the guests who just shared. So let's do that right now. And then I do have one last little recording snip, because I want us all to hear a beautiful heart-centered story from the lady who's the biggest influencer of who pulled together the team to formulate these products. Her name's Kirsty. So I know we're just at the end of the call, but I do want to share that. Before we go there, Jim, let's unmute and have everybody just say love you, thank you to all the guests tonight. And so here we go.
1,
1.
2, 3. We love
Love you
you.
guys.
Love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you. Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Wow.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. So I'm going to mute you again, although we love you. And I know we're a little over time, but we're right at almost 45 after. So I'm going to play this little clip, because to me, it drives home the fact that there was love put into these products before they even were shipped out. So here we go. I'm going to share this from Kirsty, and it's a 2-part clip, but it's real quick, guys. Here we go. The first clip is the before.
Soft serve ice creams.
My
Okay, here we go.
first experience with
Here we go. Let me crank up the volume. Crank up your volume on your devices.
burn mode, I shrunk. Like my family visually was like, wow, what is happening? What is going on? You look amazing. Those jeans look great on you. And I'm like, I know. and my hydration went up. My intracellular hydration went up 6% in 2 days. And I'm like, okay, I wasn't really expecting, that my extracellular hydration dropped. My visceral fat dropped. My body fat percentage dropped. My lean mass maintained. But more importantly, it was how I felt.
The fasting for me with
Okay, that's Kirsty. And let me share the last snippet here from Kirsty, which kind of sums up the vision and the power of these products, guys. So I just want to share this with everybody. 1 second. Here we go. This is the last little clip we'll share. And this is our chief science officer, beautiful lady.
Night of my fast, I was climbing into bed. Lights go out. I'm snuggling with Bob. And he goes, "How are you feeling?" And I just started sobbing. And I said, "I've been tasked to create these to heal others. And I think I'm going to heal myself too."
She was tasked to heal others and impact the planet. In the process, she's healing her own body. Yeah, anybody have goosebumps on that one? So, Jim, you want to close us out, please, big brother?
Absolutely. Stress is the silent thief of everything. It will domino everything downward. And if you don't get rid of it, it dominates, creating a lot of domino effects. So when we can use a product that's loaded with adaptogens to go after stress at cellular level, we bless our body in ways we can't even imagine for longer life. But instead of the house is on fire and let's jump through the window, it's now everybody get up and walk out in single file. It's a whole different world when stress goes down. And to each of our guests who have shared tonight, thank you. This was not pre-recorded, not rehearsed. This is just real life coming at you. And this is what everyone who is introduced to this can expect in some way or form. And thank you for joining us tonight. And again, to our guests, especially for sharing your personal stories.
And thank you, Jim. We love you. And guys, one of our favorite core values is 3 words: force for good. So Jim.
The count of 3, we're going to all shout. If you want to throw your hands in the air, please do so if it moves you to do that. So at the count of 3, we'll all say force for good. 1, 2, 3. Force for
good.
You
Love you
win.
guys.
Love
Thank you.
y'all.
Love you
Have a
all.
great
Thanks
night.
for being
Thank you,
on.
Night.
Robert and Jim.
Thank you.
Y'all
Good
too.
night.
Bye, guys.
Take care.